Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Boku no Hero Academia, the movie Heroes Rising. So yes, I finally decided and had enough time to record the entire of the movie of Heroes Rising. Obviously, I have watched the previous one, the two heroes, when All Might and most of Class 1A went to this island and all of that. This one, I've been waiting for it to come out, and it's finally out, and I can have a decent quality of the video. So yeah, you will enjoy it alongside with me, because if I did it with a crappy quality, it's not going to be worth it. At least that's what I think. Yes, I honestly did not even read the synopsis of this. I have no idea what it's about. Obviously, it's about Heroes Rising, but that's it. I guess it involves Deku because, come on, he's the main character. But other than that, I have no clue what is this about. I don't know when it takes place. If it takes place after All Might loses all his powers, or if it's before that, and we're still going to see a muscular All Might. Because now in the fourth season we didn't have any clues about what is going to happen, because yes, even in the third season, when the previous movie came out, we have even a special episode that says, okay, this is kind of a filler episode, and we're just going to announce what the movie, and we saw All Might with Deku. So I still not sure what is this movie about. I am not certain of anything, and I am very curious because, again, we still have a long wait for the fifth season of My Hero Academia, because yeah, thanks to the pandemic, and obviously they need time to really create a quality product, which is something I'm willing to do, because yeah, if you wait for a little bit, you're going to get a fantastic season. It's different than if you just receive a new episode every week or every month, and it's the quality of crap. Because again, I know I crap a lot in the filler of Naruto, but it's true, the filler of Naruto is one of the worst that I have seen. Perhaps I haven't seen as much anime as I wish, and that's why I consider it one of the worst, the Naruto filler. But it's infamous because it's a lot of filler. It's tons of filler, because it was necessary so the mangaka could work on the manga and they will not cut up with the manga. So it's understandable why they needed to do the filler, but I prefer this format in which they take a season and they give you a season 1, season 2, season 3, and you have to wait for a little bit. It's more entertaining. You don't get the huge amount of filler that you could get from an anime like this big, or how this is going to be a very big anime perhaps, and I prefer that. But yes, I don't think you're here to hear me just rambling about the fillers and about the movie. You're just here to watch the movie. So before we do that, let me just remind you that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications. And if you enjoy the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know what you think about the video, the movie, my reaction, or the commentary that is going to come up after I watch the movie. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description below. And if you want to follow me on Patreon and contribute to my Patreon, the link is in the description below. You are going to find there the entire movie without cuts, and obviously my full-length reaction is down there. Anyway, yes, I think I'm started to conflict myself with something else, so let's just cut all of this presentation and watch the movie, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched the movie, the Heroes Rising movie of My Hero Academia, a second time. It's a pretty good movie. It has good animation and all of that. It's not groundbreaking in the fact of storytelling. Obviously, it's just kind of self-contained story. There are several things I want to speak about this movie that I find interesting, and there are things I disagree with this movie. For starters, uh, I like the excuse they use to separate the students from UA, from class 1A, from the teachers and from other professional heroes. Small island, very very small island, with a very small city in which there are no heroes. There is no need for be heroes because there are absolutely no villains, or the resources that the villains could get from this island is not worth the effort, because yes, in the moment they figure out there is a base of operation there, they're going to be squashed, let's say, because there is a very hard place to get out of. So yes, I like the excuse, and I like how they in this movie use all of the characters of Class 1A. Every single character had their moment to shine. Some less than others, absolutely, because let's remember, you cannot concentrate your entire anime, your entire story in 20 characters. It's way too much. It will make it way too boring, way too I don't know, expanded and not deep enough. So yes, that's why I agree how they approach this time. They use every single character of Class 1A in the best possible way. This was a complaint that I had from the previous movie, The Two Heroes. In that movie, yes, you have the excuse that you need all the characters of Class 1A in this island, but they never use them as they should have. They just put them, they just show the characters for like 2-3 seconds, and that's it. They didn't use the characters. In this movie, that is a plus, that they actually use the characters. First, in mundane situations, it wasn't very harsh situations, because yes, you need to repair a truck, or you need to repair a scooter, or you need to help an old lady. Kind of, I don't want to say inconsequential stuff, but not as important stuff as we later find out, obviously. But yes, again, that is a positive point for this movie, that they actually use their characters, all the characters. It's not just an excuse to, I don't know why in the last movie, I don't know why all the characters from Class 1A went there when they only used like 7, I think, 7 or 8, 9, 10, I don't recall how many. Better said, okay, I'm going to use these 10 characters, I need to come with an excuse to use these 10 characters, and that's why the rest are going to be eliminated from the movie. And no, in this case, they actually did it. They actually used all the characters that they needed to use. Again, the movie started with a lot of action, with this pursuit in the armored truck and all the heroes, and we see heroes here and there. It was a very exciting opening. Then of course we got our moment of peace, kind of to establish who our characters are, what they do, what they are, how are their personalities, especially the main ones, because obviously you cannot go in a movie to present all the 20 characters, all the 20 heroes. You need to be more precise in the people that really matter. You already have a series. In which you have a ton of time to present more in depth all the characters that you want. But in a movie, for the newcomers, and to entice you to watch the anime, to watch the series, they did an amazing job at presenting the main characters, the rival, kind of the villains, some of the main villains of the show, not the main villains of the movie, and they did a decent job. They did a great job at that. I think it's more than decent. I think it was a great job. So yeah, that's why they use this calm moment. They use this very ordinary moment. Again, I think I'm being way harsher with this movie than I should have been, but again, there are things that bother me about the movie. But before going to to that point, I'm going to speak about the other stuff. Obviously, you need to introduce the kids. You need to introduce why we need these kids. That is something that the movie is doing well. The kids are used for this. The quirk is value for the villains because the villain want to do something, and to achieve his goal, he needs the kid so they can achieve their goal. So yeah, they establish that point. They establish that moment. And they use obviously another factors to up the drama in here. Oh, what is going to happen with the father? What is this kid's quirk? Because at the beginning I thought his quirk, I thought the father's quirk was the storm, and I was thinking, why is he not a hero? Because he's not working as a hero. He's just working at something else. I don't know. It was never specified in the movie, but why not? But I was completely confused. I was utterly confused. I thought, oh, he needs something else to establish his domination in the weather patterns or something along those lines. But obviously, I was utterly mistaken. I was wrong about what the power of the father and the kid were. But anyway, yeah, the show does a neat job at showing you that. Especially when the kid went to apologize. Oh, my quirk is not to be a hero. I say, wait a minute, what is this? And it's dangerous. Okay, I understand why, because he doesn't know how to control the lightning and all of that. But no, it was something very, very differently in this case. And we move on with our plot, and obviously when the villains start to attack, everything goes to hell. And I love this scene because it shows us how threatening the villains really are. The Chimera guy, the hair lady, the mommy guy, and all of that. So yeah, this scene is to show you how powerful and how dangerous these villains really are. So you need to be careful, and especially to establish the main villain's power. In this case, it's kind of a light all for one. It's a Coke Zero. One for all for one. Sorry, I'm still confusing them. Obviously, they need to involve the main villains of the show, and that's why we have the Doctor that accompany All for One. They show us a connection to the main villains. They show us this connection. They show us this is how we connect to our main story. And once again, it's used for to entice the people who just wanted to watch this movie, or who only watched this movie and did not watch the anime, to go and watch the anime. Because yes, oh, these are our main villains. This is just a minor villain, but this connects with the main villains of the series. And before anything, say, oh, but come on, who is going to watch a movie that is connected to an anime without watching the anime? Let's remember, the market in Japan is different. Not everybody watch anime, and obviously they will have in the theaters, okay, let's go watch this movie and see what is the deal. Well, obviously not in this moment because we have a pandemic, but at least, okay, let's watch a movie, and let's watch this movie about these characters that we don't know. So yeah, it could make sense for somebody, oh, he's just interested in a movie and watching movies instead of series, so they can entice this person and watch the rest of the series. So I think my point still holds, perhaps a little bit weak, but I think my point still holds. Anyway, yeah, this scene is to show us the power of the villains, and to show us there is a weakness, so there is a possibility for our heroes to endure, to defeat this villain. And not only that, it's an excuse for the villains not to defeat our heroes in this moment. Oh, we got this because, yeah, the villains is powerful, but here is how they are going to be saved. And this has been established from before, so it makes sense. And I like that establishment. There is a point for all of this. And this gives us enough time to organize and rescue people and put them away of danger. The villains are still doing their stuff, and we got a little bit of backstory for at least one of the villains, the Chimera guy, and the Capturer one, because yeah, again, it's kind of irrelevant after the point in which he has been shown. This villain is kind of irrelevant after the point it was been shown, so we're going to get rid of it without actually getting rid of it. He's still there, so we can use it later, which never came, but obviously it is a possibility. Then, of course, we move on to the main action scene. And I love, this is the moment in which, well, the members of Class 1A have been used in the movie as these, to show the power of the villains. But now they are showing the union of this class. They are showing what the hero society should be, the unit of heroes and not just one main hero. Obviously, we still have our main protagonist, in this case Deku, and the main antagonist, because yeah, is the antagonist, is the rival of the main protagonist, Bakugo. They are the main ones, they are the strong ones. Everything of the narrative of this peaceful moment before the storm is saying, oh yes, our heroes, our true powerful ones are Bakugo and Deku. That's it. Those are our main characters for this movie. And yes, I know I was going to say this. I think Midoriya and Bakugo and Kachan are the most powerful members of Class 1A. Momo has an incredible quirk, but we don't know their limitations. We don't know if she can create something like, I don't know, a tank or an atomic bomb. We know that she can create cannons, that, as we saw in this movie and as we saw in the first true episode of season 3, if I'm not mistaken, after the usual episode that we got. We know that, but we know there is a limit. I don't know if she can create an atom bomb, for example, or something like that, a hydrogen bomb. It will be very dangerous, but thanks to Yaoyoroso's attitude, that is never going to happen. We know Todoroki has another OP quirk, and this is something that we saw in this movie with the fire and ice, and we only saw the full potential of the ice. When I was screaming, yes, absolute zero, and yes, a little bit of a scientific parenthesis here. The absolute zero is the lowest temperature that anything can go. It's 273.15 degrees Celsius for those who use Celsius, and minus, well, these are minus, obviously, minus 273.15 Celsius, and minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit for those who use Fahrenheit. And for those who use Kelvin, that is zero. That's why it's called the absolute zero. So yeah, it's a very OP quirk that we got here. They are very strong. They are among the strongest characters of the series. But obviously everything is pointed towards, yeah, oh, he could even defeat Bakugo and Midoriya, one of the strongest or two of the strongest members of our class. But obviously, again, they are using the power of the union of the class. Every single member of this class is giving something and something extra, as I said in my reaction. They are giving them all, and they fight and fight and fight and fight. And I love that. I love the fact that Class 1A is giving them all and is giving them hell, because these villains are extremely powerful. We can see that they are very, very powerful. And I like the fact that everybody take part in this victory by defeating the two other guys that are very, very powerful, the Chimera guy and the Hair Girl. And yes, it's fascinating to see. It's fascinating to see all the quirks at their full potential, because even Aoyama, somebody that is being underestimated a lot, he really shows what he's capable of, and his supernova attack was incredibly destructive, incredibly powerful, and I love Aoyama for that. My god, Ojiro, the way he fought until the end, even Sugarman, he could not give up. They tried to protect everybody, and they saved Deku and Bakugo at a certain point. I love this movie for that fact, that I genuinely love the work that Class 1A give us. That is amazing, and the plan how they use every single one. And I love how separate the hair girl. And for a moment there, I thought she figured out the weakness of Tokoyami and Dark Shadow, but actually it was more the fact that she wanted to crush them with the rocks from the ceiling of this cave instead of light. The light was just a coincidence. And she wanted to crush them with the rocks. That's what I think. And obviously the Chimera, as I said before, by the power of every single one of them, including Tsuyu's with the toxicity of her saliva, the distraction of Ida, and obviously the fucking Unbreakable from Red Riot. My god, Kirishima is such a badass, and it's still mad respect for Kirishima, and obviously mad respect for Todoroki when he just frees the fucking Chimera. That was amazing. And I love how he used, because again, he doesn't have a nice hero that can guide him. He only has the fire hero, in this case Endeavor, to guide him. But I love how he applied the principle of increasing the temperature of the fire, but the other way around with his eyes, the decrease the temperature of his eyes. I genuinely love that part. I love how Todoroki is so smart to just change that gear and use the other side of him so that he can defeat the enemy. But obviously we got to the main fight. And I'm not going to bore you with second by second telling you how this was amazing, because yes, the animation was gorgeous, the fight choreography was amazing, and the endurance of Bakugo, Deku, and the others, Kyoka, Kaminari, Shoji, every single one of them, the amazing job they did to fight this villain. Uraraka, my god! She was really pushing her limits there, and she pushed and pushed and pushed. I love that. I love how Zero is actually really helping to rescue them, and even Mineta, even if Mineta seems that did the least, he did something amazing. He faced a very powerful villain with, let's be honest, not the most appropriate fighting quirk that you could have, which is Mineta's, obviously. But he's obviously redeemed a little bit of his character. He's still a pervert, of course, but he's still a great hero, as we've shown here. And obviously we got our fight, we have our moment of desperation, and in which we reach a moment in which they share the quirk of Deku. In a moment in which he said, okay, this is my last moment for the one for all, and because now Kachan has it. And he's going to be now the #1 hero because now he has his own power. That was a very convoluted plot point in which the movie lost me for a second. Why I said this? It's obvious that Deku is not going to lose his quirk. That was obvious. There was something else. I thought that perhaps Bakugo was going to return the power, but okay, yes, here is your power. I'm done. I use it and that's it. Or there was something else. It wasn't the case. One for All kind of protected Deku and did not give the entirety of power. They shared it for a moment and that's it. And that's why the transfer was not complete. The movie lost me there, even though it wasn't a spectacular finish movement, because as you might know, Bakugo is not my favorite character. I might respect him, I might respect his fighting style, the way he moves, the way he's so tenacious, but he's not among my favorite characters from the beginning of the show, from what he did at the beginning of the show. And that's why I did not want him to share the power of the One for All. Obviously, the resolution at the end of the movie is that, okay, everything returned to normal. And this is the moment in which we got the canon conflict. From what I have seen, because Endeavor has his scar, this happens after Season 4. This is perhaps between Season 4 and Season 5. Just like the last movie, I said I don't think this is canon. And let me defend my non-canon moment from the last movie. Some people told me in the commentary of that movie, of that reaction, that this is canon because Melissa has been mentioned in, I don't remember if the manga or if in the anime, I don't recall, back then. I don't think it's full canon because, yes, I can mention a character from a movie, but their involvement in the show is almost nothing. They contribute nothing for the main show, they are just briefly mentioned, and that's it. And their existence is mostly ignored. Just, oh yes, Melissa did something here in the USA. That's it. For me, Yara is kind of canon, but not really. Why I said this? Because again, the actions of the characters of the movie have no impact in the main show. They have nothing. They did nothing. If you eliminate the movie, nothing will have changed in season 4. And I'm still referring to the last one. With this one, unless I see something in the season 5 that acknowledge the actions taken here, that say, okay, this happens, and these are going to be the consequences of what it happened in the movie, and we're going to see that. Unless that happens, the mere mention for me is not canon enough. And I know a lot of people are going to perhaps complain and say, okay, yes, that's a little bit strict, okay, but that doesn't make any sense if they mention it as canon. But again, it's just kind of saying, okay, connect it to the show and somehow mention it. But again, if we don't see the consequences of what we saw in the movie being portrayed in the anime, then I do not consider it canon. Especially by the way this ended. Kachan doesn't remember that he was been using one for all. Deku still has one for all. So, the kids, I don't know if we're going to see them in the future, even if they are adorable, because they are. I don't know if the island is going to be mentioned. There are a lot of factors that scream, this is just one hit and that's it. You are not going to see them again. Especially because the main villain, the very powerful villain, was completely eradicated by, in this case, Shigaraki, with the decay. So, yes, I do not consider it canon unless we see the actions, unless we see what is going on. In the main plot, I do not consider it canon. It was a nice movie, sure, it was entertaining, especially when they start the final fight, because yeah, the frustration of this untouchable villain, the moment Deku punched him in the face, it was great, as you saw in my reaction. But still, again, it's not a major point for the series, at least in my opinion. There are some aspects that I have doubts. Little details here and there that I have within my doubts. For example, how is Tokoyami able to fly? I do not remember in him, at least in the main series, being able to fly. How Shigaraki is using the same way to move around as One for All, when we saw in Camino, when they were trying to kidnap Kachan. We saw the same when he went to confront in the final moments of this villain 9, if I'm not mistaken. How? What is going on? I think I witnessed kind of spoilers, but without the context, it means nothing to me. I don't know what is going on. I don't know, I have no idea what the hell is going on, and I cannot wait to see it in the 5th season of the series. It's going to take a while, of course it's going to take a while, but I'm willing to wait for that. Now, there are technical details that I have to address. The copy that I got have, obviously, fans of subtitles. There were parts that were in French, and there were parts that looked like they were translated by Google Translate, thanks to the awkward moment, the awkward thing that we saw in the subtitles. Especially the fly. For a moment, they're still in fly works, but no. I think fly, it was mistranslated to steal or rob or something like that. So yeah, sorry about that. I did not check this file before for obvious reasons, because this is a blind reaction. But yes, there were some mistakes here and there. Especially when the first moment I said, okay, this looks like French, but they returned to English, and then what the hell is going on? And in the second view, I have more moments to analyze what I saw in the animation. So yeah, it was extremely weird. it was funny at moments, but yes, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't that bad. And again, it was just that moment in which take me out of the action when they tried to make you worry that Deku was going to lose one for all, which I never bought. I honestly never bought that he was going to lose it. So that's why the movie lost me for a second there, because yeah, it was just an excuse to make drama. Yeah, it is a good movie. I like it. It's not among my favorites, honestly. It's not among my favorites, but yeah, I'm glad I watch it. I'm glad I react to it, and I hope you have enjoyed, because yes, I think I really took a lot of time to talk about this movie, about all the little details that I enjoy, about the details that I didn't enjoy, and yes, I honestly have not much to say, but obviously remind you that if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know what you think about my reaction, the movie, or my commentary. If you agree, if you disagree, if you think this is the best movie ever after, or if this is the worst movie ever after, please let me know what you think about this video in specific. The Twitter link for my Twitter is in the description below, alongside with Patreon, which is going to have the full uncut reaction for the movie. And yes, I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and well, see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.